Hello and welcome to Studio Access. I'm Joann Dunsing and I am your host. Tonight's guest is Sue Brown. Sue is the founder of Purple Pantry Boxes and she is a very dear friend of mine. Welcome, Sue.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored.
Well, I am excited about our viewers getting to know you and getting to know what's the story, what's with these Purple Pantry Boxes. So please, tell me the Sue Brown story associated with the Purple Pantry Boxes.
Well, Purple Pantry Boxes, it is a certified nonprofit. We just celebrated our 5th birthday. We started in March of 2020. And if you kind of roll back your memory, March of 2020, everything was shutting down. People were terrified. People were losing their jobs. Mm-hmm. Everyone was having shelter at home requirements. And I had already attempted to put a bigger version of this, a pantry at the courthouse where I was a public defender, helping people who were dealing with food insecurity. Purple Pantry Boxes are filled with food. So this is what we do it every day. And it was just, didn't even think about it. We just started with plastic bins and we put them out in Milford, Connecticut, around the area where that was more densely populated. And we just put food in it and we put out signs on the plastic bins saying, please don't take the bins, but do take the food. They took the bins. And one of my neighbors started building wooden structures. And he has been our carpenter ever since. And he's a wonderful guy. And he makes one on the small side just so that we can have a demo. People can actually see what they look like.
So how big are the actual Purple Pantry Boxes?
If you think about 24 inches by 36 inches, they usually have a shelf in the middle, so you can put food both top shelf and bottom shelf. Mm-hmm. We always fill them from back to front, tallest food in the back to the shortest food in the front. Think about a supermarket. You know, the labels are facing forward. You want it to be easy for people to access the food. I mean, when you open this, you know exactly what's there, and you can pick and choose what you need, which is the motto, take what you need, donate what you can.
I love that motto. Say it again, please.
Take what you need, donate what you can.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So people can just walk up to the box, they can take what they need. Some people just walk up to the box to put stuff in, huh?
Every day.
Yeah.
Right now we have 19 Purple Pantries living in communities. 13 of them are in Milford, so we're in several other cities besides. And as I'm driving around town, I see people taking food out, I see people putting food in. It is a great relationship that has been formed with the community. Mm-hmm. No matter what's happening, our mission is that we fill each and every pantry every single day, rain or shine. And there are some pantries that we fill twice a day because the need is so great.
That's incredible.
The food is always shelf stable. It needs to live in the center of the supermarket. It can't be in those exterior aisles because these are wood structures. They are not plugged into electricity, and we don't put perishable food in them. Mm-hmm. There are times community members put perishable food in, and then we take it out, and we throw it out.
Absolutely, because it can't stay good.
No, it can't. I had just trained a new volunteer, and she had gone to a pantry, and she called me up and she said, Sue, there's a roasted chicken in here. I said, okay. And she said, it's still warm. I said, okay. And she's like, what do I do with it? I was like, you know exactly what to do with it. She's like, I can't throw it out. It hasn't been opened. I said, then take it home for your family for dinner. And she's like, garbage it is. And that's the whole thing. It doesn't matter if it's hot. It doesn't matter if it's frozen. These are not designed to house that kind of food. And was that poor roasted chicken hot because it was August and it was boiling hot outside? How many minutes had it been in the pantry? Although there are no answers, so it doesn't matter. It can't be kept. It has to be thrown out.
Because it cannot be eaten. It's not safe.
Everything we do is factory sealed. It comes out of the factory, and that is how we use it. Everything has ingredients. It's labeled. You can get a big box of granola bars at a big box store, and you open that box. It's still factory sealed because all of those granola bars are sealed and they have the label. So we don't have to put in a great big anything. Mm-hmm. We can subdivide it, but we don't break seals.
Good, 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 good. So people can know they're getting safe food that is edible right there and then.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. That's important.
It is important.
Yeah, people need to feel safe with these kinds of things.
They do.
So this is the Purple Pantry box, and people will see these throughout the community bigger.
Yes, about 3 times bigger.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have seen them. And this is your 5th year anniversary, so would you mind giving our viewers a recap of the past 5 years? I know you started talking about that box. I love that story and the pictures.
So we started with plastic bins. We had 3 of them, and we also put food in the mini libraries that were around Milford. Because we started in March, and everything had shut down. So there was a little bit of space in the books. We were just being creative on where we could put food. And it's funny because I posted on Facebook with the addresses of the plastic bins. And I think I had like 5 followers on Facebook. So it's like, who's ever going to see this? But at least I was putting it out someplace that there was food in these locations. And now the Purple Pantry Boxes has their own Facebook page and Instagram. So we don't need my social media anymore, thank heavens, because I think I still only have 5 followers. We moved very quickly. We started in March of 2020. By the end of April, we already had wooden structures in the community. We had one of our first pantries was on Housing Authority property in Milford, and they were not happy. We didn't ask permission. They threatened to take it away. They did not. And it's very funny because now we have a lovely relationship with them, and there are 4 Housing Authority properties that have pantry boxes. And it's great because the people who live there are on fixed incomes, and they need help. And we put the pantries in all of the locations that seem to make sense or that are requested. But we went from 3 plastic bins to now 13 pantries in Milford and 19 in total.
That is fabulous. That speaks volumes of you, your organization, taking care of the community, because the need is there.
The need is absolutely there, and the need is just growing exponentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, people don't think of Milford as a place that has food insecurity, but the truth is, in Connecticut, a lot of cities are dealing with 1 in 3 people who are dealing with food insecurity. Food insecurity isn't about hunger, and people confuse those 2 concepts. Because, I can get a bag of potato chips, I'm not going to be hungry anymore. Food insecurity is about nutrition, and it's about knowing where your next meal is coming from. And that's very different, and a lot of people in all of the communities in the area are really struggling with that. People can be housed and deal with food insecurity. They're going to do everything they can to keep housed. Well, that might mean that there isn't enough money for food. It's one of the reasons that we also provide home delivery now. Because, as much as I love the pantries, and I do love my pantries, if you're a family of 4 or a family of 7, you're not going to get enough food. Even if you get every piece of food out of a pantry, you're not going to have enough food to take care of your family for the day. And then no one else who goes to that pantry is going to get anything because it's all been taken. So I would rather have home delivery, take care of your family as it exists, and leave a pantry filled with food for people who need 1 or 2 things.
That's incredible. You do home delivery.
Yeah, we started about 11 months ago. Yep.
So you're really helping people to maintain a roof over their head by helping them out with food.
Everybody needs a place to put their head. and everybody needs food to eat. We talk about food all the time, and we believe that food is a right. It's not a privilege. So we want to do everything that we can to get food to people without barriers. See, this isn't locked, and the pantry boxes that live in the community are not locked. I mean, they have a door, but there isn't a lock on any of our doors. People need to be able to access food, and people need to feel that sense of security that they can get food. It's really important. And we're doing our best to meet people in those places.
And they don't have to qualify.
No, they don't have to qualify. First of all, there are no cameras on these pantries. I mean, you take food, you put in food, it doesn't matter. We don't know how many people are accessing a pantry each day. We have anecdotal information. One of the properties that we fill, there are always 5 people waiting. And they take what they need. I always say, can I just put it in the pantry box, please? But no, sometimes it's just, oh, but I need that can of tuna. Okay, I need that. So sometimes it never even gets inside of a pantry box. People need food. It should not be as complicated as it is. We do ask questions for home delivery. We have to. I have to know where you live. I have to know how many people you're feeding. I have to know if you have food allergies or issues or things that you don't consume. I don't want to bring food to your home that isn't going to help your family. I always also ask people where their other sources of food are. And that's a really good way for me to judge income levels. I never ask anyone their income. I just don't believe it's my business. And all of the people that we do home delivery to don't have transportation. I'm not saying that's a requirement, but not having a car is a real barrier to accessing food. You could have all the permissions in the world to go to the food bank and get food and to get support. And I am a firm believer in public transportation. And you can get on a bus and you can go to the food bank in most areas. But if they give you 40 to 60 pounds of food, how are you getting that food home? It's really hard to maneuver that amount of food on a bus. And if you add that you're my age or older, or that you have a little one with you, it's pretty impossible. So we're just trying to make people's lives a little bit better and a little bit easier.
And then you do hear from some of these people when they end up in a better position down the road, don't you?
We do. I love the people that we work with. I never ask anyone to talk to me. I want to respect everyone's privacy and everybody's dignity. But when you're filling up a pantry every day, you tend to see similar people. People who I need a water today and I need a bar of soap today. I got peanut butter yesterday, I'm good for peanut butter until tomorrow. And they just start talking to you. And this man, I was doing a training of someone filling one of the pantries. And this man saw me and he just came running towards me. Now I know him. I've been working with him for months. And he starts screaming, "Sue, I got a job." I was like, "I'm so proud of you. That's amazing. That's awesome. I'm going to start putting food in the pantry." I was like, "That's great. That's lovely." It's always good to help. The man is still, this was over a year ago, he's still employed because I see him where he works. Still respect his privacy and his dignity. Has he ever put a piece of food in the pantry? I don't know, but he has the kind of heart that probably he has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you kind of set things up that way with the respect.
Oh, absolutely. We live in a society where sometimes it can be a little bit judgmental. If you're dealing with food insecurity, you're not working hard enough. If you're not housed, you're not working hard enough. And that just really isn't the case. A lot of people that we help have 2 and 3 jobs. It costs that much money to keep the roof over their head and to take care of their families. And at the end of the week, the paychecks are gone and there isn't any food left. This isn't about people being lazy. This is about the expense of living has gone up exponentially in comparison to the price you're being paid.
Absolutely.
I mean, the cost of housing, the cost of food. I mean, we're dealing with the frightening reality every time food goes up. Because we don't have any, we're not subsidized by the state. We're not subsidized by a religious organization. All of our funding is through fundraisers, donations. We have some corporate sponsors. We run food drives constantly. And right now we're distributing 20,000 pieces of food every single month. That takes a lot of food. And it takes money, because I won't accept the excuse, well, the shelf is bare, so we can't fill the pantries. No, we've made a commitment. We're filling the pantries every day. As I said, sometimes twice a day. So we then go shopping. And we have 3 designated volunteers that do shopping for us every single week. I give them the shopping list, and that's their job. That's their volunteer job. Everyone with the Purple Pantry Boxes is a volunteer. We are 100% volunteer based. So the money that is raised goes to one of 3 things. It only used to be food. Now, unfortunately, we pay some rent. Some of our storage space is donated. Some of it we have to rent. So we pay rent. We have to have liability insurance to have this warehouse space, and food. Those are the things we spend money on.
Sure. Yes. So you're feeding people every single day. You're committed to filling those shelves. So that kind of takes a village.
We have over 40 volunteers. Some volunteers volunteer once a week. Some volunteers volunteer once a month. Some people will do a neighborhood food drive and gather a bunch of food and donate that. We have volunteers who do all different things.
Mm-hmm. And then what about like on your Facebook page, I recently saw something about cereal domino. What is that? That's a community thing.
It is a community thing. I love the community. We have been so embraced by the Milford community. It's pretty amazing. So yesterday at one of the elementary schools, Calf Pen Meadow Elementary School in Milford, they had sent home a request to the families to donate boxes of cereal. And they created, they took the whole auditorium and the hallway, and they lined up the boxes the way you would, the little plastic dominoes, except it was cereal boxes. And in the center, it had the initials of the school. And at the appropriate time, the principal tapped the first box, and you just saw all of the boxes falling down. And the kids were laughing. It was a great time. Everyone had a great time. I love going to schools and events. And then 2 nonprofits, we were one of them, received the cereal that had been donated for the domino event. So now we have 175 boxes of cereal that we'll be distributing every day.
Nice. That is so nice. So it was a school involved. The kids were able to be involved. Then they built the domino pattern, and then they have an assembly.
Yep.
To let it rip.
They do. And surprisingly enough, it really is a science lesson involved, because if a little box of cereal taps a big box of cereal, that big box of cereal isn't going to budge. So you really have to figure out the weights and the measurements. It was really interesting to watch these 5th graders putting it together.
That is
and they
so
had
good.
they absolutely had a fun time.
Of course they did. What a blast.
Of course. And then we were playing basketball by throwing boxes of cereal into my car. I took the roof off and they were landing shots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just a good thing. And there's a lot of good things going on this day and age.
Oh, so many. So many. I mean, we are so fortunate with how the community has embraced the pantries. We couldn't do the expansion that we do. We couldn't take care of the people that we take care of if people just didn't dig deep and donate food, donate cash, donate their time, their energy. It really is amazing. We started this 5 years ago, and I thought it was going to be for 6 months. We just had our 5th birthday party, and people had a blast, and we had a blast. We do so much fundraising because, again, I can't accept we don't have food on the shelves. I have nightmares about that.
Oh, I bet you do. Now tell me about this 5th birthday celebration, because I hear you say we had a lot of fun. What was this 5th birthday celebration?
So New England Brewing Company, which is based in Woodbridge, Connecticut, it has been very generous with us, and they give us their back room as a party venue. And we had raffle prizes and a wall of wine that people could bid on. And people just came and ate and drank. People buy their own beverages and their own food. We don't charge admission. And the only thing that we did, we asked if people were able to bring non-perishable food items. And we filled half the room with food. We kept putting it in little corners where there weren't tables. And then everyone, is loading up cars, and, the volunteers were there. And we had over 60 raffle prizes that people were buying tickets for. And that's how it becomes a fundraiser, because most of the raffles are donated, and people buy tickets.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I saw some pictures, and it sure did look like a good time. And community, people coming together for a good cause. And that just spreads out. It's a beautiful thing, because again, there's a lot of good going on. We can be the light. We can do these good things. We can be kind. We can be respectful. And then that has an influence on the people around. And the school thing, I love the cereal dominoes. Getting the kids involved and just opening up their eyes to the possibilities of how can we help out somebody that we don't even know. What little can we do that adds up to multiple boxes of cereal to feed multiple people.
Absolutely. And with each of the appearances that I make, because I speak at schools, at civic organizations, religious communities, they want to hear about food insecurity and what that means. And people really don't equate food insecurity and people being housed. You could be paying your mortgage. You could have a car and not have enough money at the end of the week for food. It's nothing that should be ashamed of. And as a community, we should be rallying together to lift everybody up.
Yeah.
There are people every day in the workspace taking care of the workflow that we need to make sure that the pantry boxes are filled. People donate their time, their energy, their gas money on their cars. I mean, seriously, I said the 3 things that we spend money on: rent, insurance, food. That's it.
Food, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, you watch for those sales. You're always looking for the best prices.
Yes, I am ridiculous when it comes to prices of the food that we use every single day.
I know, we've had these conversations.
It is really kind of embarrassing that even as prices go up, I know where to shop. We have a team of volunteers that goes to Aldi every week. And so they have that shopping list. We have a team that goes to BJ's, and we have a team that goes to Walmart. And I give each team, the shopping list. Clearly, we cover the cost of that. And if there's a sale, we hit the sales a lot. We do. Every penny counts. Every penny counts. And we have a local IGA in Milford. It's Adams Hometown Supermarket, and they are very kind and very generous with us. And we can order food when it's discounted. They allow us in front of their store to do food drives. So people are going in shopping, get a few more things. They also have a donation box right at the supermarket, so people can just put stuff into the box, and I go over several times a week and pick it up. So again, the community is amazing.
Absolutely. I love it. I see the stuff on Facebook, and I just delight in it. I know how very far you've come and all the different people that are being helped. So, of course, we could go on further, but I've got to say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming to the studio today. Thank you for the absolutely heartfelt work that you do. We appreciate you. We appreciate the work that you do. And I love that it's a full circle.
Listen, you've known me more than 5 years, so you have been watching this full circle, and I am so appreciative of your support.
Thank you. And you are so very welcome. And thank you to our viewers for being here with us today at Studio Access. We appreciate you, and we look forward to spending more time with you.